activated. The situation is under control. We're under attack! We're hit! The ship is on fire! Target penetrated.
Oops, hey guys, DeathFromAbove here, welcome back to the channel. And another ship that went completely unnoticed when it first came out, le Toulon. Let's take a look at it right now because it's actually full of qualities. And here we have it next to the other tier 7 heavy cruisers and the Algérie, the Tech 3 French cruiser. What does that thing have? Engine 2, amazing, reload 2, amazing. Gets an AA boost, it's a pretty big target, 200 meters with a lot of hit points, 34,000, very good, and a pretty bad concealment. It's actually the worst at tier 7. But you can reduce it and it's actually not bad for a heavy cruiser. The maneuverability, it's actually not very good when you look at it, but you do get the engine accelerator to help with it, and the traverse is actually not that bad, 7 degrees per second. The guns, hopefully it's a little bit better, 8 305mm guns with the best range at tier 7, more than 12 kilometers, but they're completely inaccurate, so you won't be using them at max range too often. The HE DPM is the worst at tier 7, and the AP DPM is also the worst at tier 7, 30,000 damage. Luckily for you, the Citadel damage rate is at 250, that's good because you will be dealing quite a lot of them. And the turret traverse is at 6 degrees, but that's okay because the 2 turrets are at the front of the ship. Secondaries, you get 6 150mm guns, but they're completely inaccurate and you won't be using them very often as well. And you also get the best auto secondaries at tier 7. The best because you're the only ship with auto secondaries. You're the only cruiser with auto secondaries. So yeah, the 4 kilometers range you have to get pretty close to be using them. No torpedoes, as you guessed it. And actually a fairly decent AA for an heavy cruiser, especially for a French ship. But you're not going to shoot down too many planes, unfortunately, because we're still at tier 7. And so why, oh why DFA, why are you telling us about that thing? It does have a not very good maneuverability, atrocious accuracy, DPM is the worst at tier 7, and the AA is not going to stop a CV, it's very French. Yeah, but you know, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it because it does give you options. And we are here in a tier 8 matchmaking Vanguard Atlantico on the enemy team. It's a nightmare for a heavy cruiser or any kind of cruiser for that matter. But what I like about the Toulon is the versatility that it provides. It's absolutely amazing at actually handling every single thing you throw at it, and that's why I've actually chosen this gameplay. I did have quite a lot of footage to show you, but I chose this one because it shows what I call the perfect use of tactical awareness. Yeah, because that thing is very, very flexible. It's essentially a super fast battleship. It's a battle cruiser. So it can play on the offensive, can play on the defensive. It's very good at holding positions, is very quick at getting into them for a ship this size and with that much firepower. It's actually the perfect love child of Richelieu and Cherbourg and what the French heavy cruiser line of the front-turreted cruisers should have been like, to be honest. Yeah, because even though it's not super mobile, it's still fast enough to get into positions very quickly, and you do get the engine accelerator when you really need to get somewhere fast. And don't forget that, yeah, for a battleship it would be super fast at tier 7. It does have a pretty decent amount of hit points. It's very survivable. It's very good at holding a position. 4 ships in front of us. We have the turrets at the front. We do not need to expose everything to hold that flank. So getting into a cap is certainly an option for you, and since you have an absolutely amazing range, you can actually pick your targets. Yeah, you're not going to be hurting that Atlantico very much at that range, to be honest. Only 2 hits, the accuracy on that thing is absolutely garbage. But yeah, you know, it's how would you say it? It can deal with destroyers very easily, because you do get 4 rapid reload charges with the proper captain setup or commander setup, so that's actually very good, very easy to switch between HE and AP. You see that the maneuverability is not amazing, but it's still enough to be able to dodge torpedoes or severe to retreat when that Atlantico decides to push or rather commit suicide. And yes, you can deal with cruisers very efficiently, as you have seen in the teaser and in the intro. The 33 centimeter guns on that thing are absolutely exploding cruisers. They're very good, and yeah, you do get a pretty decent concealment for a battle cruiser, so a little bit above 8 kilometers, so you can certainly get close enough to them to be punching them in the face, and against battleships where you can actually bow tank them or double team them, absolutely no problem. And so the tactical wet dream, we identify an issue with the enemy team. The half of their team is actually chasing a DD on the other side of the map, and their cap is undefended. The Atlantico decided to commit suicide, and we immediately repositioned to take care of him. And there you go, there is a Vanguard, a Cleveland and a cruiser right in front of us, but I don't care. I'm going to go forward, I'm going to be aggressive, because that's kind of the thing with that ship. You have, and actually with all the battle cruisers, because the Scharnhorst is exactly the same story, you kind of have to judge for yourself how aggressive you can be, because you're quite survivable, but against a Vanguard it's you're not going to be 1v1. But for example, against the Cleveland, absolutely no problem. So there you go, I activate the engine accelerator because I want to push and capture the enemy base as quickly as I can. We are not losing that game yet, but the enemy team, half of it is nowhere to be seen. And we do sense an opportunity there. So sure enough, hopefully we can get a couple of hits on that Cleveland. Yeah, 7 hits. As soon as you get within your concealment ring, it's absolutely fine. You will be hitting your targets. Absolutely no problem. And you see that I'm actually leading my team right there. I served as an inspiration for my team. I wish every game was like that and I would not end up being the only idiot in the cap in the middle of the map. But yeah, this time it actually worked fine and they decided to follow me, and that is where I absolutely stop. I do not need to push forward, I'm putting pressure on the enemy team. I'm in their base, I'm going to activate my rapid reload and hopefully get rid of one of our opponents. Bow tanking to the Vanguard because that is the most dangerous target, and the CV only 6 kilometers. Yeah, that's just outside secondary's range, but yeah, just barely. But we're still going to punch him in the face with everything that we have. And sure enough, the Vanguard decides to come back to us, realizing he's actually made a mistake. But it's a little bit too late, and we've already progressed quite well in our capture of the enemy base. I'm not going to be able to finish that Cleveland. I want to get rid of the CV, because if he decides to move forward, he can actually bam! He can prevent me from capping the base, but that's not going to happen anymore, and we do have another battleship on the cap. So there you go. This time my team decided to follow me, and I'm actually helping us for a win. So if damage is your main stat, do not get the Toulon, because it's not going to help you very much on that dimension. But if you care about win rate and MVP rate, that thing is absolutely amazing, and we do finish the Vanguard. So yeah, Toulon, it went quite unnoticed when it came out, and I have no idea why, because it's actually full of qualities, and I highly recommend it next time it goes on sale. If you enjoy that kind of playstyle, aggressiveness and tactical awareness, then I think we have a winner at tier 7. Yep, so there you go, was my review of Toulon. Hope you enjoyed it, on a couple of interesting things. Stay safe, take care, that was DFA signing out, bye bye!